Hello everybody, and welcome back to another Game News Roundup where we go over the latest gaming news, sales figures, and any other industry information. And today we got some industry information / gaming news. Embracer Group, which has been acquiring studios by the dozen, it feels like. I think they might almost have over 100 studios at this point, but that could be changing because they're going to undergo a restructure, aka they will be closing studios, canceling games, and laying people off. Which we get into the main topic, as you can see by the title of this video. But first, I want to get into this real quick, and then we'll get into the bulk of the, oh my goodness, you know. So yeah, Embracer Group CEO, in an open letter announced the company will be undergoing a restructure, which will see some studios shutting down, some games getting canceled. He says the restructure will make the gaming publisher a leaner, stronger, and more focused, self-sufficient company, because they've been growing leaps and bounds in recent years. So yeah, during the past few years, Embracer invested significantly both in acquisitions and into a strategy of accelerated organic growth. We have acquired some of the world's leading entertainment IP, and we have invested into one of the largest pipelines of games across the industry. The program as presented today will transform us from our current heavy investment mode to a highly cash flow generative business this year. Basically, they'll be laying people off, canceling games, closing studios. But yeah, Embracer currently engages close to 17,000 people, so over 17,000, or almost, nearly 17,000 employees, and while that number will be lower by the end of this year, it is too early to give an exact forecast on this. So they're not exactly sure where the layoffs are going to be, I guess, or how many will be laid off. But we do know Crystal Dynamics, which they recently acquired from Square Enix, was it last year, they will not be affected by the restructuring. They will continue to work with the Initiative and one of the first-party Xbox studios on the Perfect Dark reboot, as well as their next Tomb Raider game, which is in development in collaboration with Amazon Games. So yeah, at least one studio we know will not be effective. I'm sure some other bigger studios, maybe like Gearbox, might not be effective. I don't know for sure. If you don't know, Gearbox does the Borderlands series of games, Borderlands 1, 2, 3. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, I think, is their most recent release, and we'll see what they're working on right now. Hopefully soon, as well as some other notable. It's such a insane amount of studios that they own. It's hard to keep track of everything. But yeah, that was a quick thing I wanted to mention before we get into, well, one more thing real quick. Last August, Embracer Group acquired the IP rights to The Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit. In regards to motion pictures, video games, board games, merchandising, theme parks, and stage productions, I can only imagine how much that ended up costing them. The deal includes the matching rights for other Middle-earth related literary works authorized by the Tolkien Estate, and HarperCollins, which have not been explored yet. Embracer at the time said the deal will give them a significant growth opportunity within PC consoles, mobile, and tabletop games. So this goes into, well, the main topic of this video. Embracer Group interim COO, Chief Operating Officer Matthew Kirk, I'm not totally sure how to pronounce his last name, but in a press conference revealed that their plans to exploit the Lord of the Rings IP, which the company acquired the rights to in August 2022. So, direct quote, "I have a high degree of confidence that this entire process is going to easily translate into better product selection that's more profitable, and that gives us a greater opportunity for growth in the future, and that helps to leverage the IP that we own within our organization," referring to the restructure that was just announced. We own Lord of the Rings, and we know we need to be exploiting. What a word to use, right? What a word to use. Exploiting is not a word you think of something positive. If you hear the word exploit, you think of something negative, something bad, you know? Exploiting Lord of the Rings in a very significant fashion and turning that into one of the biggest gaming franchises in the world. And that's obviously something we're going to be doing. And so that's a much better use of resources than some of the other projects that some of our teams have been working on. So working together, we have these opportunities, and we're super excited to see that put to work relatively quickly. Now, exploring, it just sounds like they're going to be working on not dozens, but, a ton of Lord of the Rings games. While they had nothing, I'm pretty sure that I don't think it had anything to do with the most recent Lord of the Rings game, Lord of the Rings Gollum, which if you haven't heard is apparently really bad. It's a really bad game from everything I've heard, whether it's the bugs, the visuals look like they're from like 20 years ago, the gameplay feels 20 years out of date, like it could have been an original Xbox, PS2 game, GameCube game, or even maybe early 360, early PS3 Wii era game. Obviously, there's still, people who made it, I'm sure, love Lord of the Rings, but they, for what I've heard, just it's not great. And a lot of people are saying, wait till maybe when it's $5, it'll be worth it, but oof, not the best. And there's also another Lord of the Rings game, is it like Mines of Moria, is also in development, which, let me just quickly open this, Lord of the Rings games, Amazon Games, they are working on a Lord of the Rings MMO for consoles and PC, which I think in collaboration with Embracer owns the rights. There was another, maybe I forgot to write it up. I'm pretty sure there's a Lord of the Rings Moria game. I'm pretty sure, but anyways, I swear, I'm pretty sure there is. But yeah, exploiting Lord of the Rings. That's not a word you want to use. I mean, think about the Lord of the Rings. I mean, generally speaking, the Lord of the Rings trilogy by Peter Jackson is considered one of the greatest movie trilogies out there. It's probably my favorite movie trilogy, or set of movies. Even though in my mind, it's like one big movie in a way. No, it is 3 movies. But I just exploring it. It really makes me worried that they're just gonna cram out a bunch of Lord of the Rings games that aren't up to par, that aren't very good. Maybe 1 or 2 will be big hits, maybe they'll be good, but exploiting it just makes me think they'll be rushing through Lord of the Rings games just trying to make a quick buck. The way it's being worded. Maybe he just worded it poorly, maybe he didn't quite mean it that way, but I'd rather fewer better games than a bunch of meh games. But of course, Embracer, they do own, I swear, over 100. I'll go to studios. They do own a ton of studios. Absurd amount of studios. Okay, formerly Nordic Games, THQ Nordic. We've got. Look here we go. Look at the list of these studios that they own. I'm sure some of these will be being shut down soon enough. Let me zoom in so you guys can read this a bit better. But like, it's a little bit too much. But look, Amplifier Game Invest, look at all these studios that they own there. CDE, which is Crystal Dynamics and Eidos Montreal, which they acquired in August 2022 by Square Enix. Coffee Stain Studios all over there. Gearbox, which obviously is a bunch of Gearbox studios, Gearbox Publishing even, Volition. PlayOn, which you got Deep Silver. Flying Wild Hog, Milestone. We got here Saber Group, which is probably one of the biggest ones. You got 3D Realms, Aspire. And then you look at how much they're broken down even from there. Saber Interactive, obviously, under Saber, unsurprisingly. Tripwire Interactive. You got THQ Studios. And then, yeah, it's a lot of studios that are under them. But, I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean, does this make you excited that you'll be seeing a lot of more Lord of the Rings games coming? I don't know. I mean, I'm personally... I would say usually I try to be cautiously optimistic, but I'm just worried that they're just going to milk it and kind of ruin and tarnish Lord of the Rings by releasing too many not very good games. But I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm being way too pessimistic. Maybe we'll see a bunch of amazing Lord of the Rings games. We will finally get that big open world Lord of the Rings games where you can travel anywhere in Middle-earth. At least the main part of Middle-earth, And then you can explore. It'll be an RPG, level up, you can change the story, whether it takes place as the main Lord of the Rings timeline of the main Lord of the Rings books or the Hobbit or sometime in between, or maybe the first age or second age, maybe the fourth age, maybe beyond where Lord of the Rings takes place. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe we'll get that. I mean, that would be fantastic, but I have a feeling that seems less likely. But who knows? Maybe I'm just being too pessimistic. But yeah, let me know in the comment section down below, what do you think about this? And of course, if you enjoyed this, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to subscribe. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you all next time for some more gaming news.